From now on, my full-time job is finding a guy who's going to take care of me.
You guys are responsible for me and everything else that comes with me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MST channel where we talk about all things hypergamy. We're back with In Too Deep, Gambling for a Married Man's Heart, Chapter 23. Kathy. My sister and I were finally in Scottsdale, and my heart was racing. I was starting to ask myself, should I have even come here? Kathy, what's wrong? My sister Jessica asked. Jessica, I'm nervous. Maybe we should go home. Kathy, we flew across the country to confront Mike. What he's doing to you isn't right. You're right, sis. But how are we going to do this? I don't know his room number or anything. Well, we could bribe the front desk or get friendly with a member of staff for the information, Jessica suggested. Great minds think alike. I bought $5,000 in cash with me to bribe someone if they wouldn't grant me the extra key. But how do we go about it? What do we say? What if they call the cops on us for attempting to bribe them? Here's the thing. Show them your ID first. When they see that the last name on the room matches your last name, they shouldn't hesitate to give you an extra key. But if they don't, then we move forward with the bribe. Hotel workers don't make that much, so to bribe them shouldn't be hard, Jessica joked. Jessica made a lot of sense, but I was still nervous. About 15 minutes later, we pulled up to the hotel. This man really went all out, I said to myself. This place was very luxurious. I started to wonder, what hold does Sheila have over him for him to be spending this much money? As we walked up to the front desk, I kept looking around to see if I could spot them, but the place was so huge, I doubt it. Good afternoon, ma'am, the front desk lady greeted me. I put the room under Jessica's name. That way, I could tell the lady I lost my room key and get an extra key to enter Mike's room. Jessica started to check in with the other lady across from me. Hi, is it possible I could get an extra key? I lost mine. Sure, what's your room number? The lady asked. To be honest, I don't remember because we checked in late last night and my husband is the one who opened the door. I was super tired, I told the lady. Okay, well, can I see some ID? Sure, here's my ID. Okay, so you're staying with Mr. Hodges. I'm assuming you're Mrs. Hodges. Yes, I am, I said as I smiled. The lady then started to program a new key for me. Here you go, ma'am. Just like that, I said to myself. Not that I was complaining, but that was much easier than I had thought. I bet it's the last name on the ID that got me through. When Jessica and I got to her room, we began to set the plan in motion. Okay, let's call their room 3 times, said Jessica. If they don't pick up, that means the coast is clear. It should be clear, because knowing those tournaments, they go on for hours, I said. But how do we know if Sheila's at the game with him, I asked. She will pick up the phone then, Jessica said, or she may be out doing something else. Good point, I replied. Jessica dialed the hotel number and requested for Mike's room. No answer the first time. We then tried 2 more times and still no answer. Okay, let's go, said Jessica. They were staying 2 floors up from us, where all the expensive suites were. Of course, his cheating ass went all out to impress her. That's how he tried hard to impress me back in the day, I thought. Once we found their room, Jessica started knocking. No answer. We knocked again, and still no answer. So we let ourselves in. The room had 2 closets, his and hers, but they put both their stuff in only one of the closets. We can hide in the empty closet, I said to Jessica. Yeah, that's a good idea, because clearly they're not using it, Jessica replied. We walked around the room, and I observed this girl had all types of designer items laid out. The room looks like the housekeeper had just left. I went into the bathroom, and this girl had her thong hanging from the shower, and her makeup was all over the counter. I even saw a receipt from the golf shop. He must have bought this for her, Jessica said. This girl's outfit alone cost $600, not including the shoes or the hat. Well, clearly money's no object, I said sarcastically. As soon as I said that, I heard laughing at the door. Jessica and I ran to the empty closet and locked ourselves inside. We could still see through the blind designed closet doors. The door then started to unlock. My heart was racing. They both came into the room laughing and chatting away. Jessica and I stood in the closet and watched them. Mike then sat in the chair and Sheila straddled him and started kissing him. This made my stomach turn. Gosh, you're so sexy, Sheila, Mike said as she started to grind on him. Sheila then got up and bent over in Mike's face. He then shifted her panties to the side and started eating her pussy from the back. I wanted to throw up. I then got angry and pulled out my phone and started to record them. Chapter 24. Sheila. Mike and I were back from his game. Watching him play golf all day had me yearning for him. He looked so hot in his golf outfit. I wasted no time when we got back to the room. I gave him a lap dance, then bent over in his face. My little skirt barely covered my ass. Mike shifted my panties and began eating my pussy from the back. The feel of his tongue made me drip with every swipe. He then rimmed my butthole with his tongue, and I moaned out loud. I couldn't contain myself. I then turned around facing Mike and undid his golf shorts and pulled them down slightly. His cock flew out, rock hard, almost hitting me in my face. I began sucking his dick passionately. Every time I deep-throated, he called my name and said, "Oh fuck." I then took his balls in my mouth and he shouted, "I fucking love you, Sheila." When he was about to come, I stood up and ruined his orgasm and started kissing him. He then got up and lifted me up and took me over to the bed, laid me on my back. He then started to suck on my nipples and slid his cock deep inside my pussy. With every stroke, my pussy got wetter and wetter. "Oh, Mike," I yelled as the pain and pleasure were both hitting me at once. As Mike thrusted inside me, he started to pick up speed, so I knew he was about to come. Then suddenly, the closet door flew open. My eyes grew wide when I saw Mrs. Hodges and a woman who looked like her standing there. That must have been her sister. Mike hopped off me and yelled, "Kathy, what are you doing here?" She stood there staring at him. "Please, Kathy, I can explain," Mike said. Kathy then pulled a gun from her purse and pointed it at me, then pointed it at Mike, then back at me. I scrambled trying to find my phone, but I couldn't. "Don't move, little bitch," Mrs. Hodges yelled at me. "Kathy, please lower your gun," her sister instructed. "No, Jessica, they're both gonna die." "Kathy, please don't," Jessica pleaded. Tears filled Mrs. Hodges' eyes. I then started to feel like shit. Kathy, baby, Mike said as he walked slowly over to her. Don't take another step, Mike, Mrs. Hodges shouted. She then pointed the gun at me. Tears started to run down my face. I was too shocked to speak. My life flashed before my eyes. Mike then ran over trying to shield me, but the gun went off. Mike screamed out in pain. Watching the blood spray out of his chest, I started to scream. Jessica then grabbed the gun from Kathy, as Kathy was shaking and crying. Jessica grabbed Kathy and ran out of the room. I ran over to the phone and called the front desk. Someone has been shot. Please call the police, I said, panicking. The front desk then told me to hang on as she called the cops. I was trying hard to keep Mike awake. In about 20 minutes, the cops came and rushed Mike to the hospital. I don't know where Kathy or her sister turned. Of course, the cops took a statement and I told them what happened. They yellow taped the entire grounds of the hotel. My guess is they were looking for Kathy. As I got in the ambulance with Mike, I saw the police escorting Kathy to the car in handcuffs. Her sister was right behind her. By the time we got to the hospital, Mike had lost consciousness. After hours of waiting, Mike finally came out of surgery. The doctor said the bullet only grazed his ribs and that he was lucky to still be alive, but he had lost a lot of blood. When Mike woke up, he asked me for Kathy. I told him that she was in police custody. He thanked me for staying by his side and told me to call his lawyer and said he was going to try to get Kathy off because it was his fault that he was shot. Once his lawyer got to the hospital, I told him I would be back. But to be honest, I wasn't coming back. My whole life flashed before me today, and if I hadn't accepted the gifts and had just quit when I said I was going to, it could have been me in this hospital bed right now. So I was not about to look back. If I had just quit when I said I was going to, none of this would have happened, I thought to myself. I went back to the hotel, grabbed my stuff, and booked a last-minute flight back to Alabama. I needed to be done with this man and this lifestyle. The lifestyle is good, but it's not worth my life. I would rather be with someone single. Mike is still alive, and I'm sure he got enough money to get Kathy off the hook. But as for me, nah, I'm good. I will never gamble over a married man ever again. Plus, I'm walking away with a loaded bank account, 2 apartments paid up for 1 year, and a brand new car fully paid for. But this is where my gamble stopped. And that was book number 1 of In Too Deep, Gambling for a Married Man's Heart. There is a book 2 to this story, and it's called In Too Deep, Carrying a Married Man's Baby. I don't know when I'll start that one. I'll keep you guys posted, but how did you guys like this story? How do you guys like the ending? Are you satisfied with the ending? Let me know what you guys are thinking. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every week or whenever I upload. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed reading it for you guys. And do you think that Sheila got what she deserved, or do you think she didn't get what she deserved? Maybe you think she should have been the one in the hospital. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Goodbye.